Hi guys. Okay, if you've been around for a while, you already know one of my favorite side hustles in the entire world is taking surveys for money. I've been doing it for years. Um, through various websites. I've tried a ton of them, and I know last year I made over $500 from just surveys alone, and I also made a little over $200 from testing products through opportunities I found through survey websites. So I decided maybe I'll do this yearly, but I decided this year I wanted to make a video about the 5 best survey websites that I think are going to be great this year. So if you're interested in the side hustle opportunity of taking surveys online and you want to know which ones I think are the best, just keep watching. I will also put links in the description to sign up for these various websites. And if I've also done an in-depth review or walkthrough of a specific website mentioned in this video, I will also leave that in the description below. So before I get to the actual list, I wanted to go through the criteria I used to pick my 5 best survey websites for 2022. The first thing that was super important to me is I wanted to make sure that all the ones I put on here weren't just ones that people said were good. It was sites that I've used myself, and not only have used for just 5 to 10 minutes or taken 1 or 2 surveys. I wanted to make sure I've used it extensively and that I've gotten multiple payouts from like these websites mentioned. So all the websites mentioned in this video, I've used them for a while. I've gotten multiple payouts from each of these different websites, and I think almost all of them on this list I've used for more than a year, and most of them almost 2 years or more. The next important criteria for this website was probably one of the most important things is how much the surveys paid per hour. I didn't want it doesn't matter if a survey website has like a bunch of surveys available. If you're just like making pennies per survey, it doesn't, no one wants to grind it out for, pennies an hour. Another thing that was important was how often I got disqualified from surveys. So once again, doesn't matter if there's a ton of surveys available. If you're constantly getting disqualified or screened out, usually you don't get paid for those surveys. You don't get anything. So you're just wasting your time and you're not making any money. So for each of these survey websites, I'll tell you usually about, for me, how many surveys are available, what the pay rate is on average per hour, and how often I get disqualified. And I'll give you any other important tips or tricks for the different survey websites. So, okay, let's get started. My number one pick for 2022, this is a website that I have used for more than a year. As you can see, it is called PaidViewpoint. I really can't say enough good things about it. The pay rate is usually over $6 per hour. There's usually at least one survey available for me per day, usually at least 2, sometimes 3 or more. The payment threshold is also really low. So the first time you request a payment, you need to have $15, and then the second time you request a payment, your account needs to be at $10. And then for every payment you request after that, you only need $5. So it's a pretty low minimum after you get past those first 2. They also don't pay you in points. As you can see, you get actual cash, and you can also withdraw your earnings to PayPal. They also have Amazon gift card and a couple other gift card websites. I don't think I've ever really gotten disqualified because of how they do their surveys. So they have their normal like business surveys that you take from a business. How do you like this product? What do you think about this? They also have something called trait surveys, asking you about your different demographics and if you use certain products. You also get compensated for those, but usually those trait surveys also act as a screener for other surveys. So you're basically always getting compensated if you take a survey on this website, even if it's a short one. As far as payments go, I've never had an issue with payments. I only have tried PayPal, but when I request a PayPal payment, I usually get it within 24 hours. The only downside of this website, as you can see, it looks super old. And actually, as far as I can remember, this website hasn't changed in more than 5 years. So it looks old and pretty crazy, but the pay rate is good. If the customer service is great, so PaidViewpoint is definitely my number one pick. My second pick for surveys is something called Prolific. So this is actually my dashboard. As you can see, I've taken over 1,000 surveys with them, and it is in pounds, but if you do the exchange rate from pounds to US dollars, I've actually made over $1,000 from just this one website taking surveys. The pay rate is good. They actually say in their FAQ or in their help section, they try not to have surveys on their platform that pay less than $6 per hour. Usually it's a lot more than that because it's actually £6, not 6 like US dollars, so you're actually making a little bit more per hour. There's usually a pretty good amount of surveys. I usually see throughout the day at least 5 available for me. I don't usually get disqualified because if you go to their About You section where you fill out your demographics, they ask you a ton of questions, a ton. So it's really hard to get disqualified because usually the ones that you see that are available to you, you've already been like pre-qualified for because they have such an extensive like demographics profile section. So it's great. It's amazing. The only reason it's not number one above PaidViewpoint because I've heard, I don't know this, but it seems like they change, they open and close. So it's like sometimes they accept people to their platform and sometimes it closes, but PaidViewpoint seems like it's always open. I've never seen a comment or anything where someone says, oh, I wasn't able to join, they aren't accepting new people. But Prolific, it seems like different times of year and also sometimes depending on the country, they might not be accepting people. So that's just something to be aware of. But Prolific, another great website. So my third pick that is also great is American Consumer Opinion. A ton of surveys available. I know it says American Consumer Opinion, but it is open worldwide. The pay rate is usually pretty good at about that $6 or more. You can withdraw through PayPal. They also have other withdrawal methods. I think gift cards is one of them. They usually have a ton of surveys available, as you can see down here, a ton. My only issue with American Consumer Opinion, there's always a ton of surveys available. I feel like I get multiple emails a day about, hey, you should take this new survey. My issue is I seem to get screened out more than I'm comfortable with. So it seems like the demographic section isn't really that extensive, so it's just like if you're in this location and you're this age, you're eligible to take the survey, but then you go to it and you might get screened out. You do usually get a sweepstakes entry if you get screened out or a little bit of points, but if I had to pick one or two survey websites, I would just do PaidViewpoint or Prolific because I don't get screened out as often. But American Consumer Opinion is still great. So my next pick, my fourth pick is Be Forthright. I've been using it for years. I really love it. It has a really good pay rate. As you can see, 7 minutes, you get a full dollar. There's also different ways you can earn money. They have the surveys that are directly from Forthright. They also partner with different companies to offer surveys. They also have the Pollfish survey panel thing that's embedded in here. They can also do product testing, and I was actually lucky enough to do a product test through Forthright where I tried a skincare product and I actually made $250. So it's great. You also get loyalty credits for every survey you attempt. So each one you attempt, you get a credit, and then if you get 3 credits, you get an extra $2 added to your account, which is amazing. My only issue with Be Forthright is I don't get surveys that often. I maybe get 1 or 2 a week, if that, but when I do get them, I do jump on them because they're great. So if you're looking for another survey website and you've already tried the first 3, Be Forthright is another one to add. Okay, and my 5th pick for best survey site of 2022 is something called Pinecone Research. So out of all the survey websites I mentioned, Pinecone Research has the best pay rate. The surveys are super, super short, maybe about 10 minutes, if that, maybe 15, and you usually get about $3 per survey, which is amazing. So why is it at the end of the list and not at the beginning? The issue with Pinecone, and this seems to be across the board, I don't think it's just my demographic, it seems like anybody that joins Pinecone has this issue, you maybe get 1 to 2 surveys per month. That's it, which sucks, because I would love to take more because they're super short and the pay is so good. But yeah, I don't get a ton. One of the good things about Pinecone is for every survey you take, you can withdraw your earnings like right after that survey. There is no minimum. So you take a survey, and as soon as your points get credited to your account, you can pick bank transfer or however you want to withdraw your earnings, and you can get that money. So another one I wanted to mention, this just gets honorable mention. I just wanted to mention it here just in case you've tried all of these or you've signed up and you want more surveys. It is called Survey Junkie. It has a pretty good pay rate for surveys. There's usually a ton available, probably more than any other survey website I've seen. My issue is I was getting screened out a lot from them. You do get, I think, a tiny, I think you get like a little bit of money if you do get screened out, but I was just getting screened out so much that it just wasn't really worth my time unless these other websites didn't really have anything for me to do. So if you're looking for other survey sites, Survey Junkie is another good one. I will mention it in the description if you're interested. So there you go. If you like this type of content about making passive income or making money online, I would love it if you subscribed. I do about 1 video per week. So I hope this video was helpful, and let me know if you've tried any of these websites. I would love to know your experience, good or bad. So thank you so much for watching.